Joined by Hoku Jeffrey from the group By Any Means Necessary. So what are your plans when Ann Coulter comes on Thursday?
We're calling on people from all across the state of California to come to Berkeley on that day to oppose immigrant bashing, to stand up for the rights of immigrants. Our nation's being tested, and the question is whether or not immigrants are going to be able to be beneficiaries of the principles of freedom and the unalienable rights of people in this country.
Violence broke out when Milo Yiannopoulos was here. Do you expect violence this time? And if so, what do you think about that?
I think that that's a question to ask for all the alt-right and, other far-right Trump supporters, even some neo-fascists who are likely to be drawn to a Coulter speech. The fact that she's speaking on Sproul Plaza, I imagine, could mean that such people will be hanging out on the UC Berkeley campus all day on Thursday, and we think that that's an invitation to violence. When we say your blood is my blood, that's something we say in BAM. That means we stand by each other, we fight for each other, their fight is our fight. We need to make the campus safe for immigrants and international students.
Bernie Sanders, who's about as left as you can get, came out this week and said people have a right to give a speech without fear of violence or intimidation. To me, it's a sign of intellectual weakness. What are you afraid of? Her ideas? Ask her hard questions. Confront her intellectually. Intimidating people or shutting down events, that makes liberals look bad. I
think that there's an attempt on the part of the Trump administration and the Trump people, and unfortunately national news media as well, and to change the subject. Ann Coulter, Donald Trump get national news media all the time. They get their right to speak is defended by police, by both political parties. And there's no government plot to stop the free speech of Ann Coulter. There is a government plot to racially purge this nation of 11 million immigrants.
But when I go, and I did, I went on the By Any Means website today, and I saw a post from about when Milo Yiannopoulos was coming, and it said, our intention is to keep him from speaking. I would assume your intention this time is to keep Ann Coulter from speaking. I guess my thought would be, what gives you the right to keep someone from speaking if I wanted to go and see her talk? Why is it that you have the right to tell me who I can go see speak?
Well, our objective for this protest is just that. We've put out a call, and I'm saying now that for people all across the state to come out and protest her, to make clear that this state does not accept immigrant bashing, and that means to use our bodies, to use our voices, to make it loud and clear.
Is your objective to keep her from speaking on Thursday?
Our objective is to recenter the debate on this issue in this country to what it really actually is, the human people who are being deported every day. Children are being told, six years old, middle school, they're being told that their story is not believable, and they have to go back to a place where they think that they're going to be hurt. They could be killed. That's the subject.
I understand all of that, but I mean, respectfully here, you didn't answer the question. Is your objective to keep her from speaking?
Well, no, I mean, I thought I did. We're calling on people to come and protest and use their voices and to chant, to probably even march now at this point, to send a loud and clear message that she's just not welcome.
Why not go
Anyone can come to this. Anyone. Everyone should.
Everyone should come to see her speak?
No, to protest her.
Protest.
Because to say that freedom and democracy really actually do mean something.
I totally understand the protesting. I have no issue with that. Where I start to have an issue is when I see violence, and when I feel like violence or the threat of violence is keeping someone from speaking. When you hear what Bernie Sanders said, when you hear what Ann Coulter is saying, when I spoke with her the other day, she was saying, come on in, question me, ask hard questions. I love the back and forth. And I think that's what Bernie Sanders is saying too. Go in, challenge her.
Our starting point is human life. We don't accept immigrant bashing. We don't accept the right of people. We don't accept that immigrants in this country are pursued and harassed from coast to coast. We don't accept that they're scapegoated for the problems of this country, just the same way as the Jews were in Nazi Germany. We don't accept that. And okay, if you know, if you're asking me, do I support what happened at the Milo Yiannopoulos event? Yes, I do. What happened after that event? He lost his book deal. Milo did. He lost his book deal. What else? Well,
Well, there were ramifications for him,
the editor of Breitbart anymore. We did that. The Berkeley campus did that, and what we're saying this time is we need to come out again, and we need to come out in bigger numbers.
Hoku, let me ask you a question here. Let's just say that Rachel Maddow was scheduled to speak at Cal, and let's say that people on the far right were really angry about that. They did not want her to speak, and they came out, and they protested, and they were violent, and they kept Rachel Maddow from speaking. How would you feel then?
I'm trying to picture that actually happening.
Because that's someone who I assume you support, is Rachel Maddow.
Again, I think the issue is very concrete. We do not accept this speech by Ann Coulter. The purpose of it is to make the campus more of a hostile climate for Latino students, for immigrant students, for Muslim students, for international students. That's our starting point, the people, and that's why we say protest this speech, because that's not acceptable. It's just very concrete what's being talked about.
I appreciate you coming in. I think it's important to get your perspective, just like I think it's important to get Ann Coulter's perspective. And I can just say from a personal standpoint, I certainly hope that no one gets hurt on Thursday. Thank you again for coming in. Appreciate it.